this is Mark from Manatic Strength and Conditioning. Today I just might save you guys or someone you know a little bit of money. I want to talk to you about the whole idea of sport-specific training. This is the idea that, depending on the sport you play, you need to train in a certain way and do certain exercises that other sports, they don't have to do. But what I'm here to tell you is that there are a lot more similarities from one sport to the next than there are differences. And this applies to pretty much every sport. So let's take hockey and baseball as an example. So they seem like pretty different sports on the surface, right? But the qualities that you need are very, very similar. In hockey, you need to have very strong, explosive, powerful lower body. You need a core that's very strong, powerful, and especially rotationally, so that you can transfer power from the bottom up. And you need a strong upper body ideally as well. Now, how about baseball? Pretty much the same thing, right? You need strong legs. There's a good need for strong legs in baseball, right? With the running and lots of sprints, right? Rotational power, same thing again. Swinging the bat, transferring force from the bottom up. You're doing the same stuff to develop those qualities for hockey and baseball. But the thing is, what separates one sport from the next isn't so much the training part of it. It's the injury prevention and, of course, the conditioning that is going to be more specific from one sport to the next. It doesn't take sport-specific training to address this stuff. And the other thing about sport-specific training, it's not so much that you need to do certain exercises. It's that for some athletes, and again, this can also depend on your position. For some athletes, there are certain things you just shouldn't be doing. If you're, let's say, a baseball pitcher, chances are you're going to want to limit your overhead work because you're spending so much time throwing, right? Probably not a great idea to do a lot of overhead pressing on top of that. Same thing with like swimmers who have a lot of overhead work. Any sport like that, you're going to want to be very careful about what kind of overhead work you do, because you don't want to just add extra volume on top of an area that's already being worked. Getting back to hockey players, they're doing a lot of pushing, right? It's like just from in to out, the skating motion. They're also spend a lot of time in this position, right? They're flexing the hips a lot. Does it make sense to put someone who's on ice skating these days? It could be 12 months a year. If you want to work on their conditioning, are you going to put them on a bike? Probably not, because they're going to be in that position again, and then you're just stressing their hip flexors again, right? You don't want to do that. So it's just common sense, really. It's a matter of thinking about the needs of the athlete, even more the athlete in front of you than the entire sport, and doing what's right for them. You don't have to go to some fancy program the guy down the street has for football players or soccer players or whatever the sport is. You just have to use your common sense, develop the qualities that need to be developed, and like I said, for most athletes, it's the same thing. Hope that helps you out.
Don't believe the hype.